Which band sold out Shea Stadium faster than the Beatles but remains underrated today? Rock history is filled with legends, but some incredible bands flew under the radar. From arena-dominating trios to experimental pioneers, these 60s and 70s bands shaped rock's history. Get ready to rediscover 10 underrated acts. You might find your next favorite. Gong. Gong wasn't just a band, it was an entire cosmic experience.
The girl's still weeping, and I'm still sleeping and creeping and smiling like a leafy on a tree.
Formed in 1967 by Australian musician David Allen, Gong fused psychedelic rock, jazz, and avant-garde experimentation into something truly otherworldly.
Je suis pas souvent seule, parce que tu vois, je suis.
Their music often revolved around surreal, sci-fi inspired concepts like the mythical Radio Gnome Invisible trilogy. Their most well-known albums, Camembert Electrique in 1971 and You in 1974, featured hypnotic soundscapes, spacey synths, and trippy guitar work. Tracks like Master Builder and You Can't Kill Me showcase their signature blend of chaos and melody. While Gong never achieved massive mainstream success, their influence on progressive rock and psychedelic music is undeniable. Their experimental spirit still resonates with fans of adventurous, mind-expanding rock.
Voices in your head.
Colosseum. Colosseum was one of the earliest bands to fuse progressive rock, jazz, and blues, creating a powerful and sophisticated sound. Formed in 1968 by legendary drummer John Heisman, the band featured virtuosic musicianship and complex arrangements that set them apart from their peers. Their breakthrough album, Valentine's Suite, was a pioneering moment in jazz rock, featuring the epic multi-part title track that blended jazz improvisation with heavy rock energy. Other standout songs include The Kettle and Elegy, showcasing their signature mix of hard-hitting riffs and jazz-infused solos. Though they never reached mainstream superstardom, Coliseum's influence on progressive rock was massive, paving the way for bands like King Crimson and Soft Machine. Primevil. Primevil was a short-lived but powerful hard rock band from Indiana that emerged in the early 1970s. Despite their brief existence, they left a lasting impact on underground rock with their only album, Smokin' Bats at Campton's.
Woman, it's been 3 long years since we said our last goodbye. Already had, you make more money than an engineer.
Tracks like Progress, High Steppin' Stomper, and Fantasies showcase their thunderous guitar riffs, groovy bass lines, and bluesy vocals, drawing comparisons to bands like Black Sabbath and Blue Cheer.
We'll keep moving faster, problem never stop. Hope some piece of light up red to buy snow in July.
Père Ubu. Père Ubu wasn't your typical rock band. Formed in Cleveland in 1975, they blended punk energy with experimental sounds, creating a genre they called avant-garage.
Let me walk with you.
Their music was chaotic, eerie, and utterly unique, layering jagged guitars, eerie synths, and David Thomas's wailing, almost surreal vocals.
Heard about this house. Inside 1,000 voices talk.
Their debut album, The Modern Dance, became a cult classic, featuring tracks like The Modern Dance and Non-Alignment Pact.
Down on the bus. Enter the town. Modern dance goes like this. I wanna make a deal with you, girl. Get a sign by the head to say, not alignment pact. Not alignment pact. You better sign it on.
While never mainstream, their influence can be heard in post-punk and alternative rock. Bands like Joy Division and Pixies have cited them as an inspiration. Despite their underground status, Père Ubu's fearless approach to music made them one of the most innovative and underrated bands of the 70s. Buffalo. Buffalo was one of Australia's first true heavy rock bands, helping lay the foundation for the country's hard rock and metal scene. Formed in Sydney in 1971, they were heavily influenced by Black Sabbath, delivering thick, doomy riffs, bluesy swagger, and raw energy. Their debut album, Dead Forever, was one of the first heavy metal records from Australia, followed by classics like Volcanic Rock and Only Want You For Your Body. Standout tracks include Sunrise, Come My Way, Shylock, and Freedom, all packed with crushing guitar work and aggressive vocals.
fresh and new life.
Despite never achieving major commercial success, Buffalo was a cult favorite, influencing later Australian rock legends like AC/DC and Rose Tattoo. Chicago. Chicago started in 1967 as a bold experiment, fusing rock, jazz, and pop with a powerful brass section.
That's all that matters.
Originally known as The Big Thing, then Chicago Transit Authority, their early sound was a blend of progressive rock and horn-heavy arrangements, setting them apart from other bands of the era. Their self-titled debut album, Chicago Transit Authority, in 1969, featured standout tracks like Does Anybody Really Know What Time It Is? And Beginnings.
Does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? Kiss you. I feel 1,000.
As their sound evolved, they balanced rock anthems with softer ballads, leading to major hits like 25 or 6 to 4 and Saturday in the Park.
Open that beginning, Italian song. His own way.
While later known for soft rock ballads, their early albums were groundbreaking and experimental, earning them a place as one of the most versatile and enduring rock bands of the 70s. Mahavishnu Orchestra. Mahavishnu Orchestra wasn't just a band, it was a musical supernova that pushed the boundaries of rock, jazz, and Eastern influences. Formed in 1971 by legendary guitarist John McLaughlin, the group blended blistering guitar solos, complex time signatures, and intense improvisation to create something truly unique. Their debut album, The Inner Mounting Flame, in 1971, introduced the world to their explosive sound, with tracks like Meeting of the Spirits and The Noon Word Race, showcasing their technical mastery. The follow-up, Birds of Fire, in 1973, solidified their reputation as one of the most innovative fusion bands of all time. With a lineup featuring jazz heavyweights like Billy Cobham and Jan Hammer, Mahavishnu Orchestra's music was electrifying, unpredictable, and decades ahead of its time. Beggar's Opera. Emerging from Scotland in 1969, Beggar's Opera was a progressive rock band that blended classical influences, complex compositions, and rich keyboard-driven soundscapes. While While they never reached mainstream success, they crafted some of the most underrated prog rock of the early 70s. Their debut album, Act 1 in 1970, featured the standout track Poet and Peasant, a rock reinterpretation of a classical overture. They continued to experiment with their sound on albums like Waters of Change in 1971, which included fan favorites like Time Machine and Silver Peacock. Beggar's Opera stood out for their dramatic organ work, theatrical vocals, and intricate arrangements, making them a hidden gem in the world of progressive rock. Captain Beefheart.
I cannot go back to your land of gloom, where black jagged shadows remind me of the coming.
Captain Beefheart, born Don Van Vliet, was one of rock's most eccentric and avant-garde figures.
The devil burn in the beggar land, and the little girls that live in those old wells.
Emerging in the late 60s with his band The Magic Band, Beefheart's unique fusion of blues, rock, jazz, and experimental sounds defied convention and established him as an influential figure in the underground scene.
Oh, I got a boogie home. Oh, I got a boogie home.
His 1969 album, Trout Mask Replica, is a cult classic that features complex, unconventional rhythms and Beefheart's distinctive, often wild vocals.
My smile is stuck. I cannot go back to your frown land.
Tracks like Moonlight on Vermont and Frownland became anthems for those who craved rock music that challenged traditional structures. Though his music was often polarizing, Beefheart's creative vision and refusal to conform to mainstream tastes solidified his place as one of the most important and misunderstood pioneers of experimental rock. Grand Funk Railroad. Formed in 1969, Grand Funk Railroad was an American rock band known for their raw energy, heavy guitar riffs, and a sound that blended hard rock with blues. They quickly became one of the most popular bands of the 70s, but in 1971 they achieved a feat that would go down in history. They became the first American band to sell out Shea Stadium in New York. What's even more impressive, they did it in just 72 hours, beating out the likes of the Beatles, who had previously set the standard for Shea Stadium sellouts.
Some kind of wonderful. She's some kind of wonderful. Talking about my baby. She's some kind of wonderful. Yeah, 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 yeah. On the road for 40 days. American man.
iconic tracks like I'm Your Captain, Closer to Home, Some Kind of Wonderful, and We're an American Band, Grand Funk's anthem-like sound resonated with fans across the country, cementing their place in rock history. Despite their immense success, they've often been overlooked in the conversation about rock legends. And that's a wrap on 10 underrated bands from the 60s and 70s. Which one caught your attention? Drop a comment below and let us know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more rock content. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the